Naam, yogis, yoginis. Let us talk today about the 60 degrees angle again and the relationship to light from the perspective of Karam Kriya. You may have seen the previous video I did on the relationship between 60 degrees and Amrit Vela and how Amrit Vela is associated to the sun. This was from a yogic perspective. Now we're going to explore the same, but from a Karam Kriya numerology perspective. Not exactly the same, but kind of. Let's talk about this 60. What is the 60? What is special about the 60? And how can we connect it to the light? Because, Amrit Vela and the sun was all about light. So if you haven't watched the other video, I recommend to watch the other one before, but it's not necessary as well. So we talked about in the other video how we can find these 60 degrees in many kriyas, in many meditations, in mudras, even in the drishti. And we talked about it, how there must be some relevance to that 60, yeah? So what do we know about 60? What is the number 60 special about? From a scientific perspective, if you look at science, 60 is most relevant in one particular instance, which is the angles in triangles. So let's take a look at a few triangles and see what I mean. If we draw a few triangles, we know that these angles have a relationship to each other. And if you add them, you add this one, this one, this one. If you add these three angles, A plus B plus C equals 180 degrees. Yeah. So that means that every angle defines the other one. So, for example, if we are looking at a triangle that is much higher, yeah. And if we try to put this angle as, let's say, 75, yeah, and this one 75, well, this one is going to be much, much smaller than 75, yeah? In order to be 180, we're going to have, this is 150, so this is going to be 30 degrees, yeah? So every angle has this particularity that one, whatever happens to one angle is going to affect the others. Now, why is that interesting? We always look at science and nature, and then we look at life, yeah? A triangle is formed every time there is three things or three people, yeah? And we can find in three people, for example, let's say there is three people talking. Actually, there is not three people talking. When there is three people together, generally, there's one talking and the other two listening, yeah? Or one is talking to another and the other one is more like the observer. Yeah? There is a link between two, and then the other one is kind of farther apart, more like listening. This would be like in this kind of triangle, like two are very close and the other one feels more distant. And they may feel like they need to attract your attention because they want to be part, but then now maybe, oh wait, let me say something. Now you start speaking, and then maybe the other two are listening, but you are not feeling included. Still, you would be feeling like you're in this tip of the triangle, like separate from the other two, yeah? Or maybe now you start speaking and get closer to one of the others, and then inevitably the other one gets farther apart. So this happens in communication, this happens in relationships. If we are three people in a business or in a family or whatever, there's always going to be this play between who am I getting close to? And of course, there is the only, let's say, the perfect situation, the ideal situation, the most neutral, the more equal situation to everyone. The word is actually equal, would be when we have an equilateral triangle. And that will be a triangle in which the three, let me do it here, the three angles are the same. So, equilateral, yeah? If the three are the same and the total is 180, that means that every angle is 60 degrees. So 60 appears here. This is the point where the 60 becomes very relevant. Yeah. So equilateral triangle is the only triangle that has all angles the same. All sides are the same, equilateral, yeah? All the sides are yeah? They are like equivalent, they could be equivalent or equidistant, or you could find all these words that have means there is an equilibrium, there is an equality between them. Now, so equality is a very important quality. And when we talk about virtues and viruses or vices in humans, we talk about equality as the virtue of number 3. It's not a coincidence that we find it in a triangle in this particular diagram with 3 angles. Yeah. So the virtue would be when the 3 sides are the same. In 3 people getting together, it would be like everyone has the same value. We all listen to everyone and we relate to all of them in the same way. So that this is interesting that is connected to 60. Now, let's explore which numbers are associated to the 60. How does this connect to light particularly? So, if we have the number 60, let's write it here. Immediately we see the 6 and we see the 0. Let's explore a little bit about the 6. What does let's explore with the 0 first. What does the 0 mean? Well, the 0 we associated to 10, yeah? And we linked 10 to God. We say 10 is God. 10 is like the sun. We were talking about in the other video how depending on the angle of the sun, the light hitting the earth, that's going to be affecting us. So this is our relationship to the sun, our relationship to God is kind of connected through this number 10. And number 10 has this quality that is 1 and 0. And this is all or nothing, yeah? So there's a certain all or nothing about it. And this is connected to God. And also interesting, as we look at the word God, is generate, organize, and destroy or deliver. And already here we see another number appearing, yeah? 3. Because there is 3 aspects of God, yeah? 3 letters, yeah? G-O-D. Sometimes we associate it to the number 108, yeah? We will maybe talk about this in some other time. So 10, already connecting it to 3. Interesting. Okay, we will see why it's interesting in a minute. There's something else. If we look at the 10th spiritual body, this is called the radiant body. And we call it radiant body. Radiant means a light. It's irradiating, yeah? Irradiating is getting light out. And let's remember, this path is a path of awakening. And the path is a path towards enlightenment. And enlightenment means light, bringing light to our darkness and being the light, becoming the light. We call Guru, yeah? We find ourselves calling to Guru, which is light in the darkness. So radiant body, the 10th body is quite special. It's quite different from the others because the 10th body is like 10. We also call it like the sum of its parts. The sum is more than the parts, is greater than the parts. So, for example, if we have a bicycle, yeah, there is the wheels, and there is the pedals, and there is the frame, and there is the handle. Okay, but if you have a handle and a frame and wheels and some pedals, that's not a bicycle. Yeah, a bicycle is something that is bigger than all these parts. When you put them all together, there's something greater than simply having some pedals and some wheels. So the 10 is greater than the parts. And in the 10th spiritual body, it's greater than all the others in some way. And it's connected to the others. If the others are all in balance or all are aligned, negative mind, positive, neutral, all the things are in the right balance, the 10th spiritual body is shining. Yeah, and there is this shininess, there is this brilliance that we can perceive in some people. Wow, it's brilliant. There's something shiny about this person. So that's the radiance of the radiant body, and that's the 10th. And that's associated to the sun, and that's associated to light itself. That's not the only light. Let's carry on looking at the number 60. There's something interesting about it. And let's see how it's connected to light in other ways. Let's find out what kinds of light are in us associated to numbers. So we find the light of the 10. But as I said, 60 already implies the 0, but it also implies the 6. And the 6, let's write it here. What do we associate the 6 to? Well, for once, we associate it. Let me just separate these little things, like little bullet points. 6, in one way, we associate it to Ajna chakra. Which we connect to intuition, yeah? So, as we focus, Ajna chakra is very much connected to the third eye. Which in the previous video we saw that is looking up with the eyes. So we saw that when we look up with the eyes 60 degrees, then we are stimulating Ajna chakra. Well, sorry, the third eye, but the third eye is like I think it's called the kshetram of the Ajna chakra. Ajna chakra is really in the middle of the head. It's not here, it's not in front, yeah? It's in the middle of the head, but it's stimulated through this. Actually, there's 2 points which cross through from the third eye to this point in the back of the head, which is like it's called sometimes the fifth eye, sometimes it's called the witch's eye, yeah? The eye of the witches, yeah? Or it has other names, yeah? And there's something special about this point, but maybe we can talk some other time as well. If you're interested, write in the comments. You want to know more about that. But anyway, in the center between these 2 points and the temples, yeah, in the center of the head there is Ajna chakra connected to number 6, the 6th chakra. But we know chakras and numbers are not necessarily always linked one-to-one because there's 7 chakras and there's 9, 10 numbers. But there is a connection there. So intuition, yeah? And intuition is our capacity to see something, perceive something that is not seen with the regular eyes. Why is it connected to light? Because that means that we can see something that is not in the light in some way, something that is not seen. Something that is not seen means that our eyes cannot perceive it, is because there is no light shining on those things. So our intuition, our 6, is our capacity to perceive that which we regularly cannot see with our regular eyes. Very interesting. Eyes are associated to numbers 3 and 7. So we were seeing how this is called the third eye, but our regular eyes from the 3 and 7 cannot see things that our intuition can perceive. So that's interesting as well. Now, there is another thing in the number 6. If we look at the spiritual body, the 6th, we call that the arc line, which is the halo, I think it's called halo of saints. Yeah, we have the head of the person. The halo is what goes from earlobe to earlobe. Oh dear. Like that. Yeah. So there is a a halo of light. There's a certain light. It's drawn in the classical paintings. We know all these Christian saints or any saint that is, they paint it with a light around the head. And this is the arc line. In Spanish, we call it arc of light, arco de luz. So that's another form of light, isn't it? Yeah, we were talking about the light of the 10th spiritual body as the radiance, our radiance, but this is our arc line. And our arc line is connected to our presence, the presence that we have. If we are shining, if our arc line is clear and clean, that means we have a intuitive perception, a clarity of perceiving things. And if this is clear and clean, then we are neutral enough to perceive intuitively, and this shows as a certain cleanliness in this space around the head, which becomes light. And people may feel drawn to that kind of light, and that's presence, your presence. In a way, your presence has to work, has to have that impact on others. So this is all very connected to number 6, that presence. And it's connected to the saints as well, to the concept of being a saint, number 6. And there's something else about 6 as well, another point. It's connected to prayer, a person in prayer, which is going to be receptive and open, like a flower, So let's in the other video on the 60 degrees, I was talking about this mudra. Let me just draw it for a little moment here. Imagine our yogi. With the arms up, 60 degrees, The hands open to receive. Receive what? Here is this brilliant 10, let's put it like this. I make it cross through the third eye specifically, But it's like opening yourself, like ready to receive. The hands are open like a cup, but open up. And what do you receive? If indeed it comes, what comes is what we call grace. So if you practice Kundalini Yoga, you may know this meditation. Sare sa sa sare sa sa sare sa sa sarang. Harare hare hare harare hare hare harare hare hare hare. Sare sa sa is like a butt. Sare from the navel coming up. Interesting, from the navel. I will come back to that. From the navel coming up like a butt. Slowly opening up like a flower. And this is up at the level of the third eye. So that's the 6th chakra, and there is this flower, opening flower. So the heart is like a closed flower, and the third eye is like the open flower. And as I said, it's like a state of prayer in which you are open to receive these blessings. From 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are working. You're working on your negative mind, neutral mind, and positive, and you're working up with your physical body. You are doing things. From 6, 7, 8, 9 is actually more like 9, 8, 7, 6. You stay in this 4 to the 6, opening yourself up, and you're hoping you receive something. If you read in the teachings, you will find that many Shabbats talk about peace came upon me, or compassion descended, or grace came into me. So peace, grace, compassion, healing, all these things are qualities that are coming into me. They are more like a gift from divinity. Yeah, it's like, and I'm looking up, divinity is in us as well, but there is an aspect of divinity that is external, there is an aspect that is internal, and there is something connecting both. Yeah, as you are opening yourself from the inside, then the outside can come in, and there can be this merger, this unity. Yeah, so you are opening yourself for this grace, this peace, this wisdom, this intuition, intuitive perception. Yeah, all these are little gifts that come to you that we cannot force. You can be doing the strongest kriya that you wish for 1,000 days if you wish. You can be doing like all these practices, all these ascetic practices, or just, with a very strong head, like doing all your kriya every morning, even at 2.5 sadhana, because you want to get to the gates of heaven. Something like storming the gates of heaven, like knocking on heaven's door. But actually, heaven's door may open or may not. That's grace, yeah? And you may be all doing all this work, and we never know. The grace may come or it may not come. There is no guarantee for that. And another person may be just smelling a flower and suddenly the grace comes. So there's no guarantee. At the same time, we do our path because it helps us in many, many ways not to be into the karma, but there is no guarantee. Yeah, you are doing all that, there's no guarantee. So if it comes as a form of grace, that grace as number 6. And if it comes, then there is this light from here. That's the arc line around you. So that's another link to the number 6 and link to the 60 degrees. This aspect of putting yourself in this posture to hopefully receive this grace. And there was something else I mentioned in this meditation, Saresasa. It was coming from the navel. Navel is in the 3rd chakra. And how interesting, number 3 has appeared a few times already. Let's go here. We talked about 3 in the triangles, which are linked to the 60 degrees. We talk about 3 as the link to God, in God. And we talk about 3 as the 3rd eye, and the navel from which the butt is then later opening up. And 6 is 3 plus 3. Yeah. So what does that got to do with all this? Why is it important? Well, okay, we have that. Wait, let me write the other things as well. 3 aspects of God. There's the triangle in its equilateral triangle, yeah? 60 degrees, yeah? And so this is linked to the equality. And what does this mean? It means that if you are gonna be hopefully waiting to receive this grace, yeah, you're hoping and waiting, and at the same time, it's an active wait. It's not like a passive wait, but you are there, you are available for that to come. Then in that receptivity, hopefully you are holding a state of equality as well. Because if you are doing this prayer and open yourself up, but then as soon as you come out of the prayer and meditation, you go and start arguing with people and you lose your equality. You see other people's are less equal than others. Some are better than others, some are higher than others, or you find yourself above the others or below the others, yeah? If you put everyone in front and you stay back, but not out of humility, but actually humiliation, more like a sense of less self-value, then that's tainting your receptivity. So that's your availability for grace is tainted, is not pure. So equality means equality. We are all the same. That's equality. We are all equal. So that's like a requirement, double requirement for the 6, yeah? 6, 3 plus 3. And another thing from the 6 that is connected to this is, and the 3 3 is action. Yeah, linked to the third chakra. So we were talking about this grace, like a saint, yeah. There is this saying: idiots think, saints do. Yeah, idiots think, saints do. So a saint is a saint in action. Is not one that is just there. Oh yeah, wonderful. Give me all this bliss, give me all this grace, and I don't do anything in the world. I just stay with it for myself. That's very egotistical in some way. The egoless manifestation is when you, whatever you receive, whatever gift you get, whatever grace you get, you share it with the others. Yeah. And how do you share that? Through action. You have to do things. You have to go out and do stuff. So that's the action of the 3. Yeah, the third chakra, but also the number 3. And we have been connecting 6 to light, 0 to light. What is the connection between 3 to light? Well, in a couple of ways. In one way, we have that 3 is connected to fire. And fire gives light. So there is the first, number 1 is earth, 2 is water, 3 is fire, and the fire produces light, and it's associated to the eyes because we can see when there is light. It's not the light of the sun, it's not as powerful and as strong as the light of the sun, but it does give light, and it can be a nice shiny light that gives warmth and makes you want to get close to that person, to be friends with that person who has this light in them. Is like the fire of humor, yeah, having a good, nice, fiery, strong sense of humor. It's nice. It's like a warm, like a little bonfire in the night, in a cold night. You want to get close to it, yeah, and people want to get close to these people who are, in some groups of friends, there's always like this one who is more, maybe not necessarily goofy, but, fun person to be with. And you can see them having fun and they communicate that fun to others. That's kind of like a light, like this bonfire that you want to get close to in a night. Now, fire can also burn. We know there is also qualities of the number 3, more like anger and things like that, which are more burning qualities. But these are the highest, more virtuous qualities of the light associated to that fire. So, number 3, as fire, connects to a certain kind of light. We also know that whatever strength we have in the navel, that's going to project a stronger aura. If our navel is very weak, our nabi is very weak, then our aura is going to be weak as well. And that's going to make other people's magnetic fields have a stronger impact on us. Other people's thoughts, other people's energy, other people's negativity is going to come into us, and so on and so forth. So a strong navel means strong aura. And the aura is something that we can also see, kind of like a certain light, kind of light as well, yeah? But coming from the navel, exploring, going into the 7. The 7 is the actual aura, the 7th spiritual body. But here we have a connection to the 10 and the 6 and the 3 through these 3 different kinds of lights. And there is something else as well that maybe we can connect through these 3. When we are writing the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. The 10 would be all around this, yeah. So we are seeing 10 as the light, and we are seeing this 10 here, yeah. And we are seeing there's a certain light here in the 6. There's a certain light here in the 3, associated also to the 7, yeah. Indirect. But there is this link between the 6 and the 3. And we can also connect this 6 and the 3 to the 9, yeah. We may want to explore this connection between 9, 6, and 3 a bit deeper in some other circumstance, some other video. But let's just say one connection, which is we were talking about this intuition, this intuitive perception, and how saints do the action. Saints do the action of the saint. What do the saints do? What is the action that we have to do? Well, saints are going to do those actions which are aligned with the hukam. It's the saint perceives something that is needed to be done and is ready to do it. So the hukam is what comes here from the 9. And the 6 has the intuitive perception, and the 3 puts it into practice. We can also see it here in the body. Let's make a little example. So this is the person, and let's make it pink. There's a certain hukam. Hukam means like, let me write it here. It's like a divine command, and that is like, God, what do you want from me? Like sometimes we talk like that. What are you expecting from me? What do you really want from me? I don't know what to do here. It's like, and I like to see God like there is an intelligence in the universe. That's 9, There is a primal intelligence that is guiding everything, that is aligning everything, that is making everything possible. And this intelligence is manifesting in nature in a natural way, in a harmonious way. And when we try to bring our own intellect and do things the way we want, then we are conflicting with that intelligence. And then we create disharmony and conflict and all sorts of problems. So we want to be aligned with that intelligence. We want to be aligned with that harmonious balance that is naturally everywhere around us. And there is a flow, there is a certain current that could tell us which way to go. That's the hukam. Hukam is telling us, look, this, if you do this, that's aligned. And sometimes you may have, because this hukam comes here, into the 6, and then it goes through the third eye, you perceive it, and then it has to settle down, you see the number 6 here? We say that number 6 and number 9 hold hands, This is how they hold hands. The hukam comes down, and the 6 receives it, drops it into the heart, Because we have an intuitive perception of this hukam that comes in, touches us, and I knew it. I knew I had to do that, We hit ourselves in the forehead when we don't follow the command, when we don't obey the command, when we don't listen to it. Then we get in trouble, and then I knew it. We hit ourselves right here. So if we knew it, why don't we listen to it? So we need that silence from the 4 and 6 to listen. That is coming in. Listening is number 10. 5 is speaking, 10 is listening. So intuitive perception, the hukam comes in. Let me come down to my heart. And in my heart, I have the capacity to choose. If my neutral mind is neutral, if my heart is neutral. Now I feel the hukam. I understand the hukam. What do I have to do? That I have to do. Okay, let me go into the action, 6 is 3 times 3. So then you come down, and then you go into action. And if you do the action aligned from that point, that's going to be a harmonious action. That's going to be a dharmic action. That is not going to be a karmic action. But for that, we need to have intuition. For that, we need to be neutral enough and equilateral enough, develop equality in us so that we can have that perception. All right. So let's just do a little bit this mudra. Just put the hands open like that. 60 degrees up. 60 degrees up. Just close your eyes. Imagine the 10, the big 0, the 6, intuitive perception. What is the hukam, the command, the 9 coming in? And if you have anything in your life that you need to take a decision, make a decision, just hold it right now with your hands, hold it above you and just listen to the command. Relax the forehead, relax into your heart, fall into the heart and listen. It's a state of prayer, of openness, open to receive. Inhale and exhale. You may join the hands above your head and then slowly let them fall down at the rhythm that they wish to come down, kind of like painting your aura, like you are painting on your aura. You can practice that anytime you need to make a choice and just allow yourself to really open up. Yeah, as I said, like the grace may come or it may not come, but if you don't go in to the door and knock, if you don't call for the grace to come, it may not come. Yeah, if you call for it, at least you open the possibility for it to come. So just you can practice this state of prayer because we very often meditate. Yeah, that's a very common suggestion. Always people say meditate, 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 meditate. But meditate is only half of the equation. The other half is prayer. Because you may imagine you have your phone, I have my phone here, and you are like, meditation is like listening to God, yeah, listening to your soul or your higher self or whatever you want to call it, however you want to call it. So you imagine you every day, you sit there for half an hour listening. And then you carry on with your day, yeah? You go back and listen before going to sleep. Go to sleep. And you do that every day, every day, every day for years and years and years. And you say, well, I meditate every day, but I never heard God call back. I never heard God say anything to me. And you know, we say, well, have you tried speaking? Have you tried actually dialing the number? Have you tried actually calling and saying something? Imagine on the other line, this is like a metaphor, yeah? But imagine God on the other line like, is he going to say something? You know? You calling God and then you just listen. It's like, hello, is anyone there? Right? So we need to speak, not just listen, yeah? So it's a way of seeing prayer is like communicating, yeah, opening the communication flow in that direction. And meditation is like receiving, yeah, giving and receiving. So meditation and prayer have to be combined in some way. It's not just meditation, meditation, meditation. There has to be a combination of those. But I know there is a lot of preconceptions to prayer. There is a lot of preconceptions to what is God and what is not God. And there is a lot of tension in people. Yeah, as I say the word God and prayer very consciously, and I know some people get a cringe and they feel some tension in the stomach. I had it for many years, and I still feel a little bit like a shadow of it from when I was little and the upbringing that I got and whatever I learned in my own culture. But we need to get over this. Yeah, the concept of prayer is as ancient as it comes, and it's important. There is a reason for that. And God, we need to find a way to relate to God in whatever way we feel that God is expressing itself, and whatever God is, But we need to relate to it in some ways. Otherwise, we are denying that aspect. So find your own language for it, find your own communication about it, find your own way to relate to it, to God, and do it through the prayer as well. I think that's a healthy approach, a balanced approach, not just meditation and like having a holiday, doing a meditation like having a little holiday. And then, when you come back from the holidays, the paperwork and everything you have to do is still on your table, right? So all your issues, your dramas, your neuroses, they are all there if you haven't dealt with them through the meditation. And sometimes all it requires is balance it a little bit with a little bit of prayer. So there we go. We had a nice little prayer meditation here, and we talked about light. Maybe in some other video we can explore the contrast between light and darkness through the meaning of the word guru. You may find out more about this in the next video on that. But for now, thank you very much. Sat Nam, until next time.